Wonderful. I think she's from your side. Michelle, Hong Kong,
Elle,
Al
hi.
Gui.
Elle.
She says hi. Alrighty, it is 12:01. Team, thank you so much for showing up. As we go, a few more people will obviously sign on, but it gives me great pleasure today to introduce Michelle O'Brien, our speaker for today. I met her the first time for her level one in August 2018, and she left a lasting impression. She is working with Asphodel, and she is the head of the youth programs at CrossFit Asphodel. And here's some interesting information about Asphodel. It is the first CrossFit affiliate in Hong Kong, and they've been operational since 2010. And under the strong leadership from Chris O'Brien and the management team, sorry, traffic. Their gym has not only endured but truly flourished as a brand. What makes Asphodel unique is not just their longevity, but their intention. I've noticed over the years that they will have programs dedicated to youth, elderly, and other niche communities. And these are not just side programs, these are actually part of their service offering, which I think is wonderful because it shows you what a large demographic we can serve within our cities, especially our Asian cities. So, Michelle, Christopher, and the rest of the Asphodel team, very happy to have you guys here. And please take it away.
Am I on?
Go ahead.
Hi,
Yes.
everyone. Let me see. I'm on, right? You can see me. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. This is my very first webinar, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we're going to have an amazing session. A little bit about myself. I'm Michelle O'Brien. I am a CrossFit Level 2 coach at Asphodel. I lead the ladies and the youth program alongside my amazing team. And I am married. I have two beautiful boys, one 8, almost 8, and one almost 12. Next slide. So today we're going to be talking about kids, building a strong foundation, starting and growing a successful kids program. Let me go up here. Hang on a second. Chances are many of you own a box or are running a CrossFit box and either have a CrossFit Kids program already or are considering starting one. So we've been all in with our CrossFit Kids program since 2018, and I'm so excited to share our journey with you and everything that we've learned to date. We're still learning every day, but sharing is caring. Now, like what Yuria said, Asphodel was Hong Kong's very first CrossFit box in Hong Kong, opening stores back in 2010, helping people get fitter and healthier. We officially kicked off our CrossFit Kids program in 2018 with just 2 certified kids coaches. That was myself and my boss, Chris, who is also here somewhere, leading the way. And it all started very small for us. We had 2 or 3 kids, 1 class a week, mixed ages, and at our one single gym at the time. And now you fast forward to today, 2026, we're now coaching over 100 children at Asphodel with 4 different age categories, running classes 6 days a week at all 3 of our gyms in Asphodel. We also, every week, we run after-school activities at 4 international schools. So we are very seasoned when it comes to coaching kids and very excited to share our ride. I really hope this webinar gives you some hands-on takeaways. And if you have any questions, could you please wait till the end because we have a massive Q&A session. Now, the topics covered in this webinar, why we launched a kids program at Asphodel in the first place. And it's not just for the physical benefits, guys. It's the stuff that goes beyond the physical. We'll talk about the differences between running an adult class and running a kids class, addressing parents' concerns about kids and strength training, because let's face it, there are so many. Our journey, the mistakes learned and lessons, the mistakes made and lessons learned. And finally, our wins. And after that, we'll have Q&A where you can fire away any questions for me. So next slide, why CrossFit Kids? If you look at the middle picture, there's a lovely lady wearing white t-shirt. That's Vanessa. She's Chris's wife. She co-owns the gym. Now, Chris and Vanessa, they actually started CrossFit Kids at Asphodel way before 2018, before we officially launched it. So the Asphodel Kids program basically started because our community wanted it. And honestly, because we did too. We did too, very much. As we coaches started having children, it felt natural to want our kids to experience the benefits of CrossFit and fitness that we did. Because, I mean, let's face it, we lived and breathed that lifestyle, and it just made sense to want to share it with the next generation. As mentioned earlier, we began with just 1 or 2 classes, perhaps a week, open to all age groups, and our own kids were among the first participants. And then from there, it just spread quite organically, via word of mouth, through friends of friends, until it blossomed into the program that we have today. Today, more than ever, I feel a program like CrossFit Kids is more relevant and important more than ever before, because we're living in an age where screens and devices are everywhere. And especially after COVID, we saw a massive drop in the kids' motivation to move. It was impossible to get them moving, like to get them out of the house. Even when the kids, when they do play sports like tennis, football, and swimming, their movement patterns can be quite limited. I'm talking about swimming, you're talking about swimming strokes, football, kicking balls, foot drills, and swimming, like swimming strokes. And at Asphodel, our CrossFit Kids program, we expose kids from a very young age to a wide variety of movement patterns. So think pushing, pulling, gymnastics, Olympic lifting, squatting, pressing, cardio, you name it. And this builds their strength, power, stamina, endurance, agility, accuracy, all the 10 physical skills that we talk about in CrossFit Level 1. And it gives them confidence to handle anything life or sports might throw at them. So that's the idea behind the hopper. It's all about physical preparedness, getting them ready for whatever comes next. This increased body awareness, coordination, and confidence enable the kids to excel in the sport of their choice and reduce the risk of injuries. So now, beyond the physical gains, which I think is really important also, we also see incredible mental and emotional growth in our CrossFit kids. Their confidence soars as they master new skills and realize what their bodies are capable of. Their focus improves as they learn to listen, follow instructions, and simply just being in the moment, present in the moment. So most importantly, we create a fun and supportive environment for the children to develop not just physically, but also gain life skills such as teamwork, accepting feedback, integrity, having empathy, and growing that real resilience, learning to face challenges, overcome setbacks and celebrate wins, big or small. So in actual fact, our CrossFit Kids program really is about helping kids thrive, both inside and outside the gym. And another reason why more parents now are checking out our kids program in Hong Kong for us is because in Hong Kong, in Asia in general, where there has been huge emphasis on academic pursuits, like research now shows that there's a strong link between exercise and learning. There's a doctor called Dr. John Ratey from Harvard Medical School. In his book, Spark, he talks about how exercise enhances learning, boosts brain function, and reduces lower stress and anxiety. So we're not just building strong bodies here, people. We're helping the kids succeed in life. So next slide. Am I talking too fast, by the way? Okay, good.
No, you're good. Michelle, you're good.
So now we're talking about adult classes versus kids classes. What are the differences when it comes to coaching them? And there are plenty. At Asphodel, our motto is, no matter their age, fun is always on the menu. Just like we strive to give the adults the best hour of the day when they walk into our gyms, our mission is to make sure that this is the best 45 minutes of the kids' day. Yes, we focus on moving well, learning new techniques, but the The heart of our program really is all about keeping things fun and engaging and exciting, because if it is fun, the kids will come back, keep coming back for more. And on the programming front, while adult CrossFit follows strict blocks for programming, our kids program is all about mixing it up. Every class brings new skills, new movements, different WODs. So we're keeping things fresh and fun. It's never boring. Having said this, though, we do keep a loose program for the kids. Our coaches we have a group WhatsApp chat where we share the program for each day. Different coaches program different days because different coaches coach different days, and everyone's in the loop. So like for the adult classes, we check who's coming, like next hour, who's coming. We know our audience. We know the kids' abilities, where they're at. So the coaches, we just adjust the class accordingly. And we have team meetings where we talk about the new kids joining, parents' concerns, and anything out of the norm that happens in class, even celebrate the kids' sports achievements so that we stay very closely connected to our kids' community. And like in the adult class, very, very CrossFit-y, we prioritize form overload. We use progressions and scale movements to fit every child's different developmental stage. So for example, if a child is not yet ready for a barbell conventional deadlift, we will start with kettlebell sumo deadlift until he or she is comfortable and confident in setting his or her back to move safely. And there's another thing that I'm really proud of. We're proud to have a team member who's very experienced in supporting neurodivergent children. And in Hong Kong, I believe anywhere else in the world, it's quite tough for kids to find fun activities where they can stay active and hang out with others. And Asphodel, we want everyone to feel welcome, enjoy the journey, and walk away with a positive experience. Next, what's different? The coaching language and tone also very different between adult and kids classes. I don't know about you guys, but I find coaching kids, my voice goes an octave higher naturally. It's like a whole pitch higher, like, hi, everyone. We turn up the energy and we dial up the fun, and we sprinkle in plenty of playful cues like proud gorilla. Be a proud gorilla when you do a sumo deadlift, like having big chest, or head through the window when we're having a full lockout, shoulder to overhead, head through the window, or sit back into an imaginary chair when doing an air squat, or be the amazing Hulk when you're doing ring rows, like big chest rather than not. And after a long day at school, we make sure the kids leave the class smiling, moving, sweating with glistening faces and feeling on top of the world. Now, what does a kids class look like? For us, it's 10 minutes of fun warm-up, say freeze tag, or like a fun relay to break the ice. And then we have 20 minutes of perhaps 3 or 4 skills. And then we have a 10-minute workout incorporating those skills that we've just learned in class, or perhaps skills that we learned the previous weeks. And then we'll finish with a fun game. That's what a class looks like. Next slide. Lifting the truth, addressing parents' concerns. There are many. I'm sure many of you would agree with me and have been asked that there are tons of myths floating around in Asia, especially about kids and strength training. So many say perhaps it's dangerous, perhaps it's unnecessary, or it stunts their growth. That's a big one. It stunts their growth. But that's just old school thinking, because when done right, with proper supervision, studies have shown that strength training is a total game changer for children. Strength training boosts their metabolism, builds strong muscles and bones, reduces the risk of injury, helps them move better, and establish healthy habits for life. Maybe most importantly, it builds real confidence and self-esteem. So for us, at our core, strength training is not just about building muscles, it's about building character. So we train kids to embrace challenges and get comfortable with the uncomfortable, because pushing through tough workouts, learning new skills and stepping out of your comfort zone, that helped them develop grit and resilience that last a lifetime. And CrossFit, why do you do it? And CrossFit, for me, CrossFit, as we all know it, it is not just another session of a workout. It is basically a training ground for life. Next slide, our journey, 2018 to now. So Middle picture there. I don't know if you can see the guy in blue with lots of kids. That's Chris. That's my boss. That's the owner. That's Vanessa's husband. Um, there you go. And we started experimenting, like I said, with CrossFit Kids well before 2018, Chris and Vanessa. And it was their passion project. It was once a week with one or two kids, um, fun games, with not a lot of structure, not a lot of structure. And it didn't really, really take off. So now looking back, I realized that for a CrossFit Kids program to truly flourish and succeed, it cannot just be a side gig. It takes a full committed team effort. We learned this the hard way. So once a week didn't really spark real progress. Now everyone's all in. Everyone at Asphodel is all in, from our lead kids coaches, assistant coaches to now our entire team squad. We have regular team meetings, sharing tips and training. Our coaches basically are ready for anything, because let's face it, if you can coach kids, you really can coach anyone. We occasionally we get asked to run after school activities, right, in schools, like the ECAs, the extracurricular activities. And when you have people on the team, lots of people on the team who are able to work with kids and carry out, like, coach and run these CrossFit Kids programs, it's much easier to staff these activities. Not to mention kids' birthday parties. They're becoming very popular on weekends here, and it's just easier to staff them, and it's extra income for the gym, for the coaches, and great exposure for the gym. So then, side note, I don't know what it's like in your parts of the world, but in Hong Kong, to work with children, it is mandatory to have our SCRC. SCRC stands for Sexual Conviction Record Check. And for us, it gives us a peace of mind and makes us look very professional. Next point, this is a big one we learned along the way, which made life much easier. So instead of the monthly CrossFit Kids memberships like we had in the past, every month a membership, we now follow the school terms. So no classes during the holidays. When school's out, we switch gears and we run fun holiday camps instead. So less admin hassle for us. No more membership pauses for kids who've fallen ill or have exam week or are traveling. And the holiday camps also bring extra income for the gym, for the coaches, great exposure for the gym during the holidays too. Next slide. Celebrating the wins, big and small. I think everyone's been waiting for this slide. So what I would have to say is that retention has been one of our biggest wins. Some of our kids have been with us for 5 years, 7 years, more, from when they were with us in the chippers age group, which is 2.5 to 5.5, and then now 10 to 11. So that's in our junior ward, which is 9 to 12. They're almost teens. And even when they take breaks from us, like, for maths tutorials or different sports or music, it's always nice to see familiar faces come back. They come back and join us for holiday camps also. And I would have to say this, guys. I would have to say the kids who consistently participate in our program, they get stronger, fitter, more confident in how they move, and they just all see the gym as a place for fun, which I personally find is it's so valuable for them to see the gym as a place for fun. Another big win is how much their movement quality improves. We focus a lot on good mechanics. We CrossFit in general, we focus a lot on good mechanics and foundational movement patterns, which translates to better physical literacy, enhanced sports performance, and reduce the risk for injuries. So basically, it's just awesome to see kids, they once had a wobbly air squat, and now they can master complex movements like a barbell snatch with excellent form, and just by hanging out with us. So another big win, our CrossFit Kids program has turned Asphodel into the heartbeat of the community. So we're not just a gym. We are a lively, all ages fitness family, from toddlers as young as 2.5 to teens, to adults like parents, not to mention our inspiring legends aged 65 and above. So here at Asphodel, fitness is fun for everyone, no matter their age. So as a result, we run crowd favorite events like Kids Rock. Kids Rock is Asphodel's our own version of High Rocks for family and kids, and Family Murph, which happens every year around May, and the popular, Halloween and Christmas workouts where we unite all generations. Our goal is to make fitness a fun lifestyle, and it's not just a task or a chore. Like we want the whole family to share a common bond and work out together. I think this is the last slide. So I'm done. That's it. It's your turn. Fire away for your questions. We've put here how to contact us online with our Instagram and emails. That's it. How many minutes did that take?
All the minutes. We're about 21 minutes in. Well done, Michelle, team. Really well put together presentation. Thank you so much. I would invite everyone to take a screenshot of their Instagram account here and follow, just to, have a look-see to see what they get up to. They do a fantastic job on their social media as well. I see a lot of familiar people on the participant list, people who I know run CrossFit Kids programs at their gyms successfully, like Jin, Sasha. I think I saw Teddy as well. Do we have any questions? Eddie, I don't know, Eddie from Singapore, if you had questions, because this could be your calling card for you guys as well. The floor is open for anyone, please.
Hi,
Not
Prishit here from Pune, India. Hi, Michelle. Thank
Hi,
you so
Fish.
much for your inputs. And I introduced CrossFit Teens program just a while back at our box in Pune. Uh, Currently, what I'm facing is I need to have age restrictions in terms of conducting classes. So I've put 12 and above, 12 to 18 years of age in one bracket. Now we see the rate at which they grow up, the physical skills improve, they pick it up very fast, and the growth is really fast. Now, how are you accommodating, suppose, a class for 8-year-olds with somebody who is probably 14 years old? Their capacities are very varied. So, how do you program for them and make it like a common program? Or I got the aspect where you're taking in the attendance and then modifying the workouts, but do you have a standardized format for the same? Do you pre-plan for the same?
So our different age groups, we're 2.5 to 5.5 year olds, 6 to 9, 9 to 12. Our teens are 13 to 17. So our teens program follow our adult program, our Asphodel.fit program, and we modify it just as we would for any people who've just come off on-ramp onboarding lessons. We modify them. So are they similar to the kids? They are a little bit more different. They're more towards the adults. Though I have to say our junior WOD kids, they're also just as able as our teens. So I don't know if I've answered your questions properly, Prashit.
Yes, yes. So you've separated the class timings for the
Yes.
age group. Yeah, I figured that. All right. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
I mean, at the beginning, we had them all together. When we didn't have so many kids, we all started with one mixed age group, which was it was wild. I don't even know how we did it. But I think just knowing your children, and you could do like front squat, or you don't do front squat, then you could do air squat. Then the next one is like, I think you are able to do a thruster. So then you do a thruster, and we would progress that way. And also, I feel like at the beginning, you are the product of your environment. If the child is surrounded by people more able, then they move faster. Do you know what I mean? And vice versa.
Right. True, true, true. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Michelle, if I can add in there, I think one interesting challenge that you're always going to find, and I'm sure the guys who've started these programs before have found, is that you're going to have an issue of like, well, do I challenge this person or am I holding this person back? Right. So like say you'll have those older kids or even younger kids who are really good, right? Like as an example, the other day, I think it was yesterday, was it Michelle? That girl came to the class in Kai Tech. This girl is like a professional rock climber.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's 9 years old. So you can imagine how strong she is. right? Relative to what a normal 9-year-old would be like. It's totally different levels probably, and she probably could do pull-ups more better than some adults, you know.
Yes.
So it's just like, well, how do you balance that? How do you balance the emotional development too? Right. So
Yeah.
like we kind of took the approach of, well, we're gonna match them based on emotional development more so than physical development, but then also try to modify it the best we can.
Yeah.
For the longest time, say the very capable teams, we would actually put in the adult classes. We did have some like safety restrictions around it, depending who it was and just like how proficient they were. But like one example would be like, maybe a parent has to join at the same time, right? So if a parent joins, then it's fine, but because it can get pretty sketchy. Say if you have like a 13 or 14-year-old girl in a class with a bunch of 20-year-old dudes, and they might not realize she's as young as she is, right? So you have to be careful of that kind of situation.
Yeah, and what we also notice is that like even within, we have 3 different locations in our chippers, our 2.5 to 5.5. When we see them here on the island side, they have their skill level is just a little bit different. Like they're able to take on a little bit more, whereas when our Kai-Tak side is just it's more of like a localized, more local population over there, and like those children have a little bit more of an issue with like just learning some newer skills. But like Michelle was saying, we'll do like we'll assess through an air squat even at 2.5 years old. And then if they're, if that's going well, we're going to move into a thruster. Does the thruster have to have any weight with it? No. Weight isn't all, the load is not the part that's the most important. We add the load as we see that they're being more proficient in these movements. So it's amazing though what you can see from that age and then going all the way up. Like, and for instance, we've had a guy, he came with he was coming to us for about a year. He's a younger teenager, and he's just really put in the work like he's a very shy kid. He doesn't really talk, and he now is joining in the adult classes, and he's very much more confident. He's just like he's moving so well. And it's just great to see that. It's something that I think we love about this is just seeing that growth that happens.
I think, Prish, it comes down to knowing your audience,
Yeah,
know your kids, know how to push them. And then that would it'll excite them every time, to be pushed a bit.
cool.
I think that's great, team. I quickly had a question just out of curiosity. You said that you don't run a standard membership system anymore. You go based on the holidays, or did I misunderstand that, Jonathan? Can you guys explain to us that so we just understand better?
Yes. In the past, when we first started, we used to charge the parents, like pay for the children, a package once a month, a monthly package. You renew the first of every month. Or we renew the day that they purchase, a month from then, and after a while we started to realize it became quite troublesome. It was a lot of work in terms of, oh, my child's fallen sick, please pause our membership. We were very, very open to that. They're just kids. Okay, of course they fall ill. And we paused when they had exams. We paused when they went on holidays. And if you did this for 100 children, it just became something that you didn't even want to go there. And then after a while, we realized we should just follow the terms, because a lot of activities, children's activities in Hong Kong, they do by term. So when schools start, we start with the schools. When schools go on holidays, that's usually when Hong Kong families make their travel plans and stuff, right? They go, we stop. And in return, it gives the coaches some time to just relax a little bit. But we also run CrossFit holiday camps, where we can gain some extra income for the coaches, and also bring in other children who would otherwise during the term won't have time to come to our gym.
And something good about following it by term as well is that we were having some issues where kids would come, and it just because it's very much like a really like awesome playground for them, and so they weren't taking it as serious as we wanted them to. And so when we started to shift towards the term-based approach, kids, it's more of like an extension of school to them rather than, oh, this is just like where I can go and have fun and like not have any structure. So it really added that as well. And we can see kids coming in, getting serious about what they're doing. Of course, we're having fun the whole time, but it's like there's less behavioral issues that come from that as well, which we didn't expect.
Also, sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Beth. I'm head of commercial at Asphodel. So just from a revenue perspective, the termly thing worked out much better for us. So the monthly membership was just basically shadowed our adult membership. It was set up like that because that was just how our membership packages were, which I'm sure most CrossFit memberships, they're just on a monthly rolling basis. But we realized then that when it came to running holiday camps, which are a more premium product and we can charge more for, if you've got kids that are already on a monthly rolling membership, you can't really charge them. It becomes messy to try and charge them extra for a camp. And a camp is obviously longer. It's in the holidays. It's more intense, better service, better, like more that we enhance them sometimes with themes and other activities and things. So by having it termly and you just pay them at a time, in the holidays, we then have no kids with membership basically. So we can then upsell the camps and charge more for them and make more revenue during the camps. And we're also more in control if we've got coaches who have kids who might be traveling during the holidays. We can choose whether to put the camps on or not based on the staff we've got available instead of being committed to the members that have monthly rolling memberships. So it just, for kids, it just makes much more sense from a business and revenue perspective as well.
Oh, that's great, Beth. Thank you. That helps a lot. I don't know if anyone else wanted to ask a question about the holiday camps and how you would schedule it. Gretchen, did you have something else or did you want to dig a little bit deeper?
I have a different question, so I can give the floor ahead to anybody who has a related question to camps, if there's any.
Looks like we have two questions from Sabrina.
Yeah,
The first one
Sabrina,
maybe Beth, maybe you could talk about just the different rates that we do for different age groups. Do we do that? And do like just how we go about that?
Yeah, so our kids program, like our junior program that runs from 2.5 up to 12, we charge at a price that's cheaper than an adult drop-in. So in Hong Kong, an adult drop-in, we charge 300 Hong Kong dollars. A child's drop-in, like per class, is 200 Hong Kong dollars. That's just obviously, like I say, the price per class. But then at teens, they meet somewhere in the middle. So teens pay 250. But our kids' classes up to 12 are only 45 minutes because we just find, I'm sure if any of you ever work with kids, their attention span, it's not that long. So 45 minutes is enough. But when they get to teens, exactly like Michelle explained, it's much more shadowing the adult program. So their class is an hour and they get, the full kind of adult experience just catered to them. So we charge 250, which is like a middle point between a kids class and an adult class. And then the termly, they pay for however many weeks that term is. We calculate a weekly rate that we then prorata like across a term and charge that much. And for that, they can attend as many classes as they want. So at Asphodel, because we have 3 locations, we have like quite an extensive class schedule across all 3. So with our membership, you can attend any class at any location. So the kids can attend up to 4 classes a week with the termly membership, should they wish to. So it basically works out better value for them. If they're going to attend more than once a week, it works out better value for them to buy the whole term. If they're just going to attend once a week, we sell like packs of 10 classes, and it's the same as a drop-in rate. So they can buy a 10 class pack and just use up the credits as they wish. And we get quite a balance because, some kids have a lot of extracurricular activities, so they do just want to come once a week. But then we also have kids that come twice a week at 2 different locations, or they come once during the week and once on the weekend. And then they'll buy the term and they can just come as much as they want during that term. I hope that answers your question.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
great.
her
Thank
other
you, Beth.
question, sorry. Yeah, her other question is about parent involvement in the classes, especially for our youngest age group, 2.5 to 5.5. So we do ask that with that age group, we do ask that either parent or guardian, such as their helper, is present within the class. Sometimes that just means that they're just on the side, just watching, and if need be, they can take over, especially when we have a larger class. And typically we have 2 coaches at once, but even with that amount of adults, we will at times need a parent or guardian to kind of take over with a child that's either disruptive or
Need to go to the toilet.
has a need of some sort. So then we do have occasionally we have like a neurodivergent child that if we feel that it would be helpful to have a parent or a guardian there, we might suggest that to the family. Or if we do see that it would be very beneficial for everyone, we would ask that takes place as well. So good questions.
Thank you. That makes sense. Thanks very much.
Let's go to Gretchen.
Okay, thank you. I have two questions. The first one is, because you're running kids classes and you serve quite a bit of age range for the children, have you found the need to make physical adjustments and accommodations built into your gyms?
Good
Like, for
question.
example, smaller toilets. I don't know.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
have kids, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, if you don't mind, I'll answer it because I'll tell a
Yeah.
kind of a funny story. Well, funny, maybe not so funny. So the second location we opened up, Gretchen, it was actually built for kids. So if you walk into it, the pull-up bars are way lower, right? The ceiling height is also lower, which is why we picked the space in the first place. We built some capacity to handle adult classes, but we very naively thought, oh, we can basically migrate all the kids here, run kids as like a full program at this location, and then run adults in our normal location in Kennedy Town. And then very quickly, we realized that that location being in the central part of Hong Kong, so anybody who's been to Central before, that's where everybody is. Basically, we were inundated with people wanting to train there. So we had to open a full schedule for adults there. But the entire setup was with kids in mind. Like, so we have like a little rock wall, but that rock wall is not at all like functional for an adult, right? But if you're just a half meter off the floor, it's really cool. Yeah, and then we have, just like a slightly softer floor. Yeah, all the pull-up bars are set much lower, right? So like, just as an example, most adults, you would have a hard time doing bar muscle ups in that location. But if you're a kid, it's perfect, right?
Got it. Would you say, off the top of your head, like for like per square meter or per square foot, is it more expensive to invest and design for children than it is for your regular adults?
You have to be more creative, I think, right? So like Kennedy Town or that location, I know Michelle and her team, they have spent a lot of time thinking about how to be like really creative with that space. Whether it's like banding bars, like barbells up at lower sections, so those can become the pull-up bars. Now, as it's grown up, we have some cool equipment, right? Like we have little medicine balls. We have weights that are more appropriate for kids. We have little barbells, so now they teach them how to do all the Olympic lifts and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't start off that way, for sure, right? It was using PVC pipes and just making up
Plates.
stuff as we went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one
Yeah.
thing I think that's like quite important to note is that I'm a parent and my kids obviously love the CrossFit Kids program at Asphodel, but it's quite a unique selling point that we have that it's an adult environment that kids are allowed to access. A lot of kids' activities are in a child-friendly environment, which is great and there's a place for that. But actually children being allowed to access an adult facility and learning how to behave in it and feeling the sense of responsibility and pride that they go to the gym that mummy and daddy go to or whoever is also really important and really a big valuable part of what we do. So there's the other side of it is like, yes, you want to accommodate and adapt for the kids, but also don't forget that letting kids use a CrossFit gym is really cool for them.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you.
Yeah. I
Okay.
feel like also you really all like somewhat jokingly, but all you really need is just like a bag of dodgeballs on top of what you already have in a CrossFit gym, and then
Got
you're
it.
good. But no, if you think about it, well, something I learned recently, because we do those school outreach programs as well, and sometimes in these programs, there's really nothing there at the school that we can use, or like there's not many things. They might have a bag of dodgeballs, some cones. But besides that, there's not really other equipment. There's some mats maybe. And so I realized through the CrossFit affiliate toolkit, they offer two different kids tracks there. So there's one, and it's just programming, and it's probably about a 30 to 45 minute program that you could run, and it's day by day, and one's with equipment and one is without equipment. So I went in and looked at all those different days that they had laid out, and it's very basic things, but it keeps kids engaged. It's getting them moving. They're learning new skills, and they don't need anything really. So there's like, you have your CrossFit gym. There's so many things here that can be utilized. The kids don't need barbells. They use PVC pipes. They're moving. Like I said earlier, like you don't necessarily need the load. So there's so many, yeah, like Chris was saying too, it's just all about getting creative. And that's what also makes it fun. It might be challenging at first, but once you get there, you're like, oh yeah, we can do these things. It's and everybody's really enjoying it. So yeah.
Cool. My last question, thanks for bringing up the outreach programs that you do. My second question actually has to do with co-running programs with schools. Like, have you explored that route? So it's something like the school has sanctioned this program to be run with their students. And obviously, like there's a payment thing agreement with that. Like as part of to replace probably PE, physical education, something like that.
Yeah, I think we haven't necessarily done any sport specific work. It's more of like we try to frame it around the concepts of CrossFit really.
Gretchen,
But also,
sorry.
go ahead.
In the
Yeah,
we
Michelle, you
have not,
talked about this.
yeah, we
Talk
haven't,
about China.
yeah, we haven't, oh yeah, we haven't had in Hong Kong, we haven't been asked to go to a school to take over the PE program. However, we have had an international chain, a chain of international kindergartens who've approached us in south of China. So it's just a train ride away. It's not in Hong Kong.
Yep.
Who wanted our services to go and coach their PE program. So not in Hong Kong, but in China. They just wanted a different feel, someone different energy to take over their international kindergarten for, I think it was a year. I can't remember. Then when we came back to Hong Kong, we had schools approaching us to coach their PE staff. So the PE staff come to Asphodel to learn about our coaching methodology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that for a couple of people. And then now after COVID, we've been asked by 4 international schools a week it's been ongoing for about 5 years now to run their after school activities.
Okay,
And
got
actually,
it. Cool.
we've had a lot of other schools inquire about us doing their extracurricular activities for them, but we are quite selective over the schools that we do it for because obviously our main product and what we're providing, the way that we're providing value is by having our coaches in our facility. It's like an additional thing that we have these relationships with certain schools that will provide that. And yeah, we'd obviously rather keep our coaches on site where we can.
Okay,
So we
got
have to
it.
be
So it's
selective.
more them trying to import your coaches than them exporting their students to you.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Got
think
it.
in Hong Kong, a
Very
lot of
clear.
schools are quite have great facilities, so they don't really want to send their kids off site as
Right,
such.
right. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's it for me. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
and just to add a little bit in there. So when Gretchen, this was actually a big mistake we made when we started the program,
Mhm.
is when we first started, we're like, oh, it's really hard for us to get kids to come into the gym. So why don't we try to teach PE teachers even how to implement these types of methods, right? Now, there's a lot of legal issues on that, right? So like I, for instance, don't have the authority to teach CrossFit to anybody outside of our facility, right? I cannot certify CrossFit to anything, right? So the most we can do is kind of educate, and you just teach the teachers enough to like stay within whatever's legally allowed for you to do, get them or try to convince them to go and do the CrossFit Kids course themselves, and you go get the L1, you go do the kids course, and then you can try to implement it. But like basically, we spent a lot of time trying to figure that part out, and then realize that actually this isn't going to make money either. So why don't we just go back and work with the kids again, right? And right around that time is when we got asked by this lady if we could come and run PE classes following a similar, obviously it's like same methodology, right? But you're not legally allowed to call it CrossFit at that point. And yeah, and since then though, like a lot of the rules have changed around this stuff, but just like for all the affiliate owners is you do have to be very careful of what you say and where you say it and make sure everybody also understands because you do have rules around what you're allowed to call things based off the physical location that's in all of our affiliate agreements, So you just have to make sure you're not, because you obviously CrossFit doesn't want you to potentially damage their brand, right? We obviously don't want to do that either. And at the same time, you want to be able to get the reach you need, right? In order to try to get the program going.
Yep, cool. Very clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
And something similar to kind of what Chris was just talking about is that if you're not familiar, CrossFit has an educator's course as well. And if that's a good starting place when wanting to learn more about what it looks like in schools, but it also is very transferable to within the gym. But it's designed for, teachers in the schools, whether they're PE teachers or not, and it provides more engagement for their students. But I did that course and I did feel like even I'm a former teacher of about 10 years, and I found that to be really helpful, just in terms of just how to connect some things between the school and within CrossFit as well. So that is a good place to kind of look to as well.
Okay, thank you.
There's a couple of
There's a few questions.
There's a few questions that have come.
Malavika has been hanging. Can I quickly get Malavika on and then we go to the questions in the chat, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Malavika, please go ahead.
Hey, hi. So my question was around the whiteboard briefing. Given that the kids are of different age groups and their attention span is that of a butterfly, so how do you manage that and what are the challenges you face during your whiteboard briefing?
Malavika, which age group are you talking about, or are you just talking about kids in general? Because they differ.
Are you
So
talking
I'm
about
talking about the kids who come in like 2.5 to 5.
Oh,
and,
okay.
For them.
There is no whiteboard briefing for that age group. They come in and we start off. I think there was another question about how do you run a typical 2.5, was by Jin Chong Hee. How do you run a class for 2.5-year-olds to 5.5-year-olds? So yes, there's no whiteboard briefing. They come in and they're like ready to rock and roll. So we set up the class like an obstacle course, different every time they come. They just know they climb ropes, or they don't. At that age, they can't hold on, right? But we can hold on. So they train their grip strength like Tarzan swings, and then the next one will be like a mini trampoline. The next one will be like jumping, like climbing over a bench, going under a bench, and then island hopping on the different mats that we have, and then forward rolls. Like it's great for vestibular, like forward rolls is great because at that age, it's really hard for them. They don't even know how to do forward rolls. But once they get it, they just can't stop roly-polying. You know what I mean? So there is no whiteboard briefing. So we start with that, and that will go on it's a 45-minute class, right? And it will go on for about 8 minutes, 10 minutes. And the newbies, the really young ones that come in, they're still wearing nappies. The guardian will hold their hand, or the parent, and they will follow the other kids who are like 4.5, or 5. And I feel like it's powered by number, and kids just follow kids, and week by week, they become more confident. The grips become stronger, and they just know what to do. So the obstacle courses, they're similar every week, but we change a little bit. So they come in with confidence. There's a bit of familiarity. And then after that, I remember I thought the same thing when we first opened that age group, Chris, when Chris was about, for my little son and Chris's son, my boss, Chris's son, they were like 2. I'm like, how do we coach kids this age group? Like, really? So I remember, you'll be so surprised. We taught them burpees in the first lesson, and they followed you like better than the adults. They were bouncing like bunnies, like burpees, chest to the ground, just follow slowly. And then we started putting cones out there. Everybody stand behind the colored cones and give me an air squat. Believe it or not, you know it. Kids squat better than the adults, right? They have no mobility issues. and they're amazing. And so we just build from there, and then from there, air squats, and they just grow. You start holding mini donuts, like those mini plates that are 0.5 kg. We like smell the donuts, and then feed the aliens when they do shoulder to overhead, things like that. And then you build from that. And before you know it, they can do a full workout. They play games, obviously. They play games. And so over at Asphodel House in the new gym, they haven't been doing this longer, but it's the same age group. So we just coach different skills because, like you said, right, their attention spans, like, very, very little. And so we move along different stations. Everybody shows off, have their stage time. And at the end, everyone gets on a rowing machine, which is like so big for them, right? And we're like, let's row to Disneyland, and everyone's rowing. And then that's the end of the class. That's 45 minutes. And then after a while, to Hong Kong Island for that age group, we do workouts. We go from station to station. The magic number today is 5. Everyone give me 5 burpees. And they just follow each other like flies. You know what I mean? And then that's the end of the session.
Something that we've realized too, though, is like for that age group, you don't want to have more than 45 minutes scheduled with them. If you're going more towards like an hour, that they can't last for that long in terms of just attention span. So yeah, somewhere around 45 minutes is a great amount of time for that age group. But then after that, 6 and above, they can definitely handle an hour or more. So that's just something to consider as well.
Very valuable, team. Can I give an opportunity to Liz and Sasha as well? They run a program in Phuket, and they ran, Michelle, you know them actually. I think your kids competed in the event. So Liz and Sasha, go for it.
Hi guys.
Hi, hi.
So
Liz.
yeah, so we started our CrossFit with kids like what was the age?
Babies.
Yeah, we started with the babies, but
Yeah. So we had 2 groups before, 3 to 5 and 6. Oh, 3 to 5, 6, and then 7 plus, basically until the adult. And
so yeah, but we ended up changing it because we, like you said, it's definitely different with baby. So right now we do plan to do another at least once a week to start off again with the babies, because it was a little bit too much work, I think, and there was a lot more older kids that we had. So we had more older kids than we had babies. So it wasn't matching there for us, but now we have more people that are interested. So we will add a new class. However, right now our class is from 7 years old to 15 years old. So it is a big range, but we know most of our kids already. Like you said, we know like how much they can lift. We know what they're good and what they're not good. We give them progressions as they need. So for the most part, we have the same kids, which is great. However, we're in an island, so we have a lot of people here on vacation. So a lot of drop-ins or just, new kids come in. And sometimes these kids, they're not used to being in this kind of environment. The older kids, they know the rules and everything, everyone follows. But I have a lot of drop-ins, or kids who are new and they maybe like behavior is not so good and it kind of spoils the whole class. So I think that's some common thing that we've experienced. And I just, at the beginning you said like you have to come in, with good energy, good attitude, and you want to leave them feeling good about themselves. But when there's kids who kind of spoil this energy, and I just want to know how to handle it appropriately.
do you have penalties and punishments? How
Like
hard?
penalty
Yeah.
benches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough.
I
It's
have a
very,
lot of benches.
Liz, you're not alone, but
Yeah.
Jonathan here will be able to tell you, but he's coached us. You're not alone.
I think, yeah, one thing, Drew, I mean, you learned this through teaching, of course, but and going into a CrossFit Kids class, and there are definitely those children that can really ruin it for everyone.
Not really.
And the biggest thing I think we try to do is just stay positive and try if they're, they're having this negative behavior, if there's at any point you see something positive that they're doing or good, you have to point that out right away and kind of blow it up and make it a big deal. Um, and then, yeah, there's got to be some consequences, right? You can't just let it keep happening if it's not going to stop. Um, there are times, I guess, if the parent's there, that would be helpful, of course. But with the child, it would be more of like, hey, it looks like you're not ready for this right now. Maybe just take a break for a moment. Give it a couple minutes, maybe when you feel ready to come back and join us, you can, or I'll ask you to come back and join us when I think you're ready, or I can see that you're ready. So just kind of maybe somewhat giving them agency on that, but also it's also up to you. The biggest thing is like if they're not safe, they definitely can't be around. Like you've got to find a way to either explain to them the safety part of it, but it's sometimes, yeah, you need to have that separation and you need to make it in a way that it doesn't seem so punitive. It's more of just like, hey, you don't seem like things are going so well right now. So let's try to give you a break here and then get
Liz,
you back.
can I?
Go ahead.
I mean, Jonathan has trained us very well, but I have to say, you're Phuket, you have a lot of drop-ins. So it's tougher because they come in, but you still don't want them to ruin your mood, which in turn ruins the class, the kids' mood.
Correct.
So what I tell my team is always remember, hold hands, they're not our kids. So don't worry, as long as you keep a smile on your face and just, I think, keep your cool. And if a child is very disruptive, you just say your bit and then move on. And basically just for myself personally, I ignore them a little bit unless they're unsafe.
Yeah,
And that's when I step in. So I ignore them a little bit and then and then I pull them back in because I have witnessed also, Liz, there are times when I say, what is going on? Like there's a child who is like 5, was very good, and then suddenly went just like, I already know this. I don't want this. I don't want to do this. If the child is not a demo boy, for whatever reason, and when I have a word with the parent would say he's going through some stuff. But believe it or not, Liz, if you stay positive, because those moments are just temporary. If you stay positive, you keep cool, it makes your life so much, it keeps less gray hair for you, less wrinkles, and then the class is more positive, right? Then after a while, that child will always remember you were never, ever nasty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Remember, that's not your child. And then, yeah, he returns. He returns and then he grows with you. I've experienced this. I've made mistakes before. I think we all have. And luckily we have teammates. Those classes, and you're never coaching on your own. Regardless if you have just 4 chippers, like 4 little babies, you are never on your own because sometimes we bounce off each other's energy. Yeah. And if our colleague said, okay, Michelle, take a breather, I'll just go, oh, hang on a second, and I'll turn around and, and come back, but you'll know that at the end of the day, you will gain that kid back, but I know that what you're saying is your little babies, they're drop-ins. So you may not see them again, but you don't want them to ruin the atmosphere of the class.
Right.
Yeah, and something that's also really important in these instances is trying not to be very verbal with them and just be more like make eye contact, having close proximity. If there's 2 coaches, one of those coaches is going and standing near that child, and sometimes just that, or just kind of putting their hand on their shoulder. That can really just make a difference rather than just saying, you got to stop, or you got to be quiet, you got to do this, got to that, or no, 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 no. Like it's so much better if you can find ways of just nonverbal cues to them, or just stopping for a moment of what you're saying, don't say anything, and then just move on. But like the other thing I was going to say is, yes, because you have these drop-ins, they are coming in, you don't really know these kids. If you can, and if you have time, is really making a big point of getting to know that kid as fast as you can when they come in and just kind of trying to create this really quick relationship with them, of course. You're probably already doing that, but like if it's all about, creating relationships with them, whether it's going to be temporary, it's only for an hour, whatever. That's also going to really help you eliminate some of that, some of those issues, and once you're into the class. So
Yeah. Thank you guys. That's very helpful. Yeah, I do actually do a lot of these things. Like sometimes ignoring is better because the more attention you give them, the more they want to disturb you. But another
Right.
thing is like I still am pretty fair because if they give me a reason, like okay, during the warm up, during um practicing movements, like they're very disruptive. They want to lift all these things that they cannot. And I'm trying like, no, okay, that's not for you. But sometimes when it comes to the workout, they do really good. Of course, I will be like, wow, good job. Like, and that's usually how it is actually. They're really like the behavior is only happening around the warm up, around the practice time, but during the workout, not so bad, you know? So I do praise them for it. So sometimes it does help. Um, but yeah, they're all very good tips.
Do you have a protocol for crying babies?
Ah, that's a great one.
Wow, Sasha,
Such a good one.
He
crying.
took my barbell.
That's okay. So I wanted to say this. This is what we've learned along the way as well. When the kids come in, yes, you're right, getting to know the new ones before the class starts. But when the kids come in as coaches, yes, we raise, there's more energy, we spark with some positivity, but we make sure we set the rules and let them know who's the boss. So I'm like, hi kids, this is an adult gym. We're about to do some cool stuff. But here, CrossFit 101, the gym 101. If you hold, who wants to hold a baby barbell? And they're all like, me. If you do, when you hold the barbell, once it's in your hand, you face forward, you don't spin around because we've experienced some things. Hi, mommy, look, and they turn around and they whack. It's happened before. So we say this for all age groups. Once you touch a barbell, or if we don't ask you to pick up something, this is an adult gym, please don't pick up. This is for your safety. We set the tone at the beginning of the class. We remind them while we're coaching them the skills, and then class after class, I think it'll get into their head.
Right. Yeah.
But for crying, if it's not injury related, typically,
Joy, 45.
yeah, I had a child recently. It was like the last 15 minutes of the class just would not stop. She's probably like 3 years old, and then our other coach is with her the next week, and the whole 60 minutes with this child, she cried. And we were like, well, now we need to reach out to the school and like we need to figure out what's our plan for this next time because we can't have this happen. But for you guys, your instances of crying, I think it would just be more of like maybe just go sit off to the side. I think, and well, of course, if a parent is there, we would want to pass them off, and hopefully they could join back in the class later. But if nobody's around, one of the coaches is there trying to console or just maybe just having them sit for a little while and
Yeah,
then ignoring them because if it's not really physical, then they'll hopefully come out of it after some attention's not being given. So. It is tough. It's really tricky though.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
our chippers classes are accompanied, so that's where within the gym we ask them to have a guardian with them. So if they're really, can't be settled, we would just ask the guardian to step in and let's get on with the rest of the class so the other kids don't miss out.
That makes sense. Any other question here for us, team, before we go to the questions in the comments? Oh, Prishit, what about you? Please go for it.
I want you to shed light on energy management of the coaches because if a coach is having classes that are back to back with varied age groups, and as you suggest that the kids programming is not very fixated and you don't have a lesson plan per se, or you have the workout in mind but not about each minute, right? I have personally found out that kids classes take up a lot more energy, and then switching back to adults classes, you really need that 15-20 minutes break in between. How are you doing it as an organization? How are you timing those? Do you have enough gaps between two classes, or is the other coaches taking back-to-back classes, or how does that go about?
For us, we always have two coaches on site. And there would be, I think the evening classes, the coach would go from a kids class directly to an adult class. So that's when the other coach steps in, goes, you know what, we're about to do a workout. You just take a moment to decompress before you go. But otherwise, we always have a break, actually. So I coach a lot of kids, and my colleagues coach a lot. We coach in the morning, and the kids' classes is usually after school. So we have, if we finish lunchtime, we have the extra couple of hours to decompress, or we finish morning, we have those hours to decompress, right? But a couple of instances where the coach is coaching teens, for example, and then they go straight into the adult class. Teens is not so much. Teens is like an adult. They listen. They're like adults, really. But I do know that they suck the living daylight out of you, and you need time to decompress. Yeah. Yeah. But when you have two coaches, you always communicate with each other. Hi, this is your moment. Go off, be free, and just decompress.
There's times, yeah, when both coaches are full on during that class, of course. And then, yeah, you have those lulls between or different things that you're doing, whether you're going from your skills or, we're teaching 3, 4, maybe 5 skills at the beginning. And maybe Michelle's leading one of those skills, and then it's passing it off to me to lead the next one. And so we try to, we need to like kind of level out that energy as well, but just kind of taking time, just finding times where you can kind of chill out a little bit more during a class, or like sometimes she's teaching and I'm just grabbing all the equipment and getting it ready. And so I'm not having to be so much in contact with the kids while that's happening. But yeah, we do have times where it's like kids class, adult class, and there's no gap in between any of that. And I guess it's also just, through practice and time, you learn to kind of how to switch into those different gears. And you can be quite drained at times, but it's about like finding times to decompress. And
I think it's teamwork, Prashit.
Yeah,
it's teamwork. There are times, I'm not gonna lie, I go, hi, it's been crazy chilling. Can you just
do it all?
Can you just first 10 minutes warm up, just let me decompress. It's really just teamwork. And I feel like then the kids can feel the energy, and then you feel their energy, you feed off each other, and then it becomes a great session.
Yeah.
So valuable, team. Thank you very much. Anyone with a final short question? We're already running about 10 minutes over. Katie has a question, or someone from Katie's gym. Please go ahead.
What was it?
Katie?
The one about
Costa?
Oh, she's there.
Oh, not there.
Sasha, I agree. The call should be 4 hours long so we can talk about everything. Okay, this is Anu from Chennai. Anu, please go ahead. Go off.
Still muted.
Muted, Anu.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
Good.
Audible?
Yes.
Yeah, Anu from India, Chennai, Fiona's CrossFit. Sorry, I think Katie shared his link. So I'm raising my hand through Katie link, I guess. So my link is not visible. Anyway, my quick question is, say I'm running adult and teens program already. So can I simultaneously, because my space is really huge, can I run a kids CrossFit simultaneously on the side? Is it feasible? Is it doable if I have enough coaches?
With adults or with teens? Sorry, I didn't
Two
hear.
separate classes, is that what you're saying?
Adults or teens classes on one side. Will I be able to handle a kids classes also on the other side? Because my place, there is no constraint. I have enough of space. Do you
I feel it's
think
not
it's
ideal.
manageable? It's not. Okay.
I feel like it's not ideal just because it depends on the age group of the children. They get distracted very, very easily. Even like some skis going while the adults are working out. It's loud. I don't know. I mean, we have a smaller gym in Hong Kong, and even when the adults sometimes are on the bike just to cool down and in the kids class, or parent waiting for a child and they're bored and they're going on the bike, we have to tell them to stop because the kids, they get distracted, and then it's not just one children, it's like all of them, and then you've just lost them.
Well, it's hard. I think something we have another location. It's very big. There's plenty of space. So we do actually have to run a kids class and an adult class side by side. And this usually, yeah, it's like the 5:30 class in the evening. So there's there's kids that are like 9 to 12 or 6 to 12. And they do have some issues where they're looking over, but it's really just in terms of how I will position them so that they're turned and facing a different way so that they're not distracted, but they'll still get distracted for some of it. I think it's doable. It's not ideal, but like if you've got the right staff, you've got the space, and maybe if you can find a way to have a little bit of a separation.
I would say if you've got the right staff, you'll
Yeah.
be able to command the room.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Other questions are out there in the inbox. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, team. Everyone who participated today, if there are any other burning issues that you would love to see these guys unpack for us, reach out to your country manager with some of the topics that you would love to see or love to hear about. And then we will press on Chris and Michelle and Jonathan and Beth's button again and ask them to let's address these specific questions. And then we can run another hour, maybe a month from now or after the Open, because I know the Open is coming up as well. Michelle, how do you feel? Would you guys be open to that? Doing a follow-up session on this one?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Because I think having the kids program, we started off with the kids as a side gig, as something just as a nice to have. It's like I'll give back to the community. But now I feel like maybe with what's happening with the world today after COVID, I feel like people do see the importance of having a program like CrossFit Kids, and now it's become a standalone program. And for it to succeed, I think it's a win-win. All our coaches are involved, everyone's invested, and if you can coach kids, you can coach anyone. And then it becomes like a community, right? We want the community to grow. We started having kids and we had legends. We've got 3 generations.
Yeah.
It's a holistic gym.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's what I love. It's the entire population in the city that you can service, in fitness and health. And this is powerful stuff. Thank you for leading from the front, guys. We really appreciate you. Everyone else who signed up today and gave us 1 hour and 12 minutes of your time, I appreciate it. You are late for another appointment, so please go settle yourself. Michelle, thank you. I know it was your first one. You did fantastic.
Thanks for being here, guys. My first ever.
Michelle, thank you.
Thank you, team.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest of
great
your
job.
day.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.